Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe you.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting. Let's slide over. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of HomeFront Sitrep. We are at J. Mattingly 1845 Distillery here in beautiful Frankfort, Kentucky, for a special show. Sam, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, man. So I partnered with J. Mattingly with the Mogadishu Mile a few years ago, and they do a bottle for us and do a release. And we had that last Saturday. But this Saturday is extra special, other than it being, the Army birthday and Flag Day. And, we had Rich on earlier in the year with Warrior Honor Cruise, and I was able to bring these guys in conjunction with J. Matt, and they did their own bottle. So today is the launch, the release of the Warrior Honor Cruise bottle. Man, this thing is beautiful. So the entire board came in and did a bunch of tasting, and then they did their blend and put everything together, decided their label, their mission statement on the back. So today is day one of the launch of their bottle. It'll go on the JMatt webpage probably next week for sale online, but right now you can get it in the store here at J. Mattingly in Frankfurt for $150. And then, $20 of every bottle goes back to Warrior Honor Cruise. So they'll be able to take, at least 5 brand new attendees and their guests next year on their cruise. So yeah, we're excited, and we got most of the board here today. Rich is here sitting with us. We're gonna let him talk about Warrior Honor Cruise a little bit, and what J. Matt is doing for them, and what it means to them as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So first off, I'd like to thank both of y'all for coming out and allowing us to do another another podcast with y'all. Thank you, Sam, for linking us up with Jay Mattingly to be able to help with our mission to continue to help with the veteran suicide rate, to continue to push it down instead of up. And there's only one way that we're ever going to do that, and that is through programs like this, helping brothers and just pushing us to a different level with fundraising this year. This is going to, like Sam said, this will take 5 new Purple Heart recipients on board, with past sellers and stuff like that, so that they can actually build a bigger network where they have the opportunity to call other people if they're in need, and if they feel like they're going to commit suicide or anything like that, or even if they just need to talk to somebody. That network's a lot bigger now.
Yeah, that's always good, having that network. Your tribe. We talk about it all the time here. It takes a village to help combat the 22 a day. And I love your mission when you're highlighting here. You're highlighting the Purple Heart veterans, and you're taking them on a cruise and getting them together with other Purple Heart veterans so they know they're not alone. That's something that we talk about quite frequently here on HomeFront Sitrep. And I love that, here you got a bottle here, it's $150, and then a portion of that proceeds goes back to your organization, which is friggin' phenomenal. What's up, Rich LaMonica? How are you, sir? Yeah, so talk about the bottle. I mean, with different colors.
We went with the purple, obviously, because of the Purple Heart recipients. This organization is focused on helping Purple Heart recipients or combat wounded veterans that got wounded, obviously, in conflict. But we went with the purple label and gold because of the medal. The Purple Heart medal is actually gold and purple. We didn't put a Purple Heart on the bottle because we didn't want any kind of trademark problems, so we just went ahead and designed it. It's got our logo on it, has the anchor on it, so that signifies us being able to be steady in one place, and the rope that is on there on the bottle, within our emblem, signifies if you're in a storm, you can tighten that rope and it'll calm the seas for you. A lot of veterans have those days that just they need to be able to pull that rope just a little bit tighter and allow it to calm that storm. And that's one reason that's the way that it's designed. The purple, unfortunately, it looks like LSU colors. If we do this again, we're going to have to come up with something different than
maybe a lighter blue.
Yeah, lighter blue or something.
Or a lighter purple.
Yeah, something that's not LSU colors. But we decided on that, and it's really amazing what they've done. And on the back of the bottle, it has our mission statement. It absolutely tells us our mission and our goals as a board and as an organization, to where we're able to continue to help the veterans, and we want the veterans to be able to reconnect with their wives while they're on board. It's if you have a happy marriage, more than likely that veteran's going to be happy and not want to commit suicide, and the cruise, right after COVID, you were on that cruise. Yep. And it was nothing but adults. There was no kids that were on that cruise. And there's half of those people still come back every single year because it was such a special cruise. It was obviously we were all excited because we weren't stuck in our house anymore, but we just connected differently with that group of individuals. It was just a different bond. And that was where I got the idea about us helping families reconnect. I had one of the board members that are with us, his wife came up to us and told us that I haven't seen my husband smile in 10 years. And he was actually smiling, and he has not missed a cruise since then. He's actually leaving on a cruise in a couple of days out of New York. Him and his family are going on their summer cruise. So, but it is a Purple Heart organization, but we're also focused on the marriages and rebonding and reconnecting of the marriages to make that a stronger thing, and that's one thing that my wife is doing is she's actually doing the ladies group and able to help build a better ladies group so that they have a network also, and that's really important for the wives. It's, because the wives do support us. The wives are there when we do have those bad days, and the wives need that help from outside sometimes too. It's like, man, my husband's acting crazy today. Let me call so and so and see what they do, and that's an important part of our process too, is to allow the wives to build a bigger network too. So
Yeah, I think when it comes to the family nucleus, when you focus on the spouse and children as well, I think that helps. For one, it helps the spouse understand what that veteran goes through, because if they can hear it from other spouses that, my husband or my wife's doing this or that, they can understand how they help avoid those triggers or help minimize those triggers.
absolutely.
So I love that you guys are focusing on the family part of it.
I tell you, one of the things that they do is, we do breakout sessions for the guys the first couple of days at sea, but the wives get together too. So what's unique and cool about Warrior Honor Cruise, it started off as Purple Heart Cruise, then they had to do some rebranding, and then they changed to Combat Wounded Cruise, and then after their 10th year, they were going to shut down. And guys that have been on the cruise multiple times said, we're not letting this happen.
Right.
So every single board member right now is a Purple Heart recipient that has sailed previously on Warrior Honor Cruise. So, I mean, it's just a cool thing. And then, when the bottle came to, they all came in. So they came in from Georgia and Alabama and Texas and California, wherever, to do this blend, and Indiana, to do this blend, to make sure that, this is what they wanted. This is the brand that they wanted to put out there. And of course, J Matt's like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So, we're missing one today because, like Rich said, one's getting ready to go on a cruise out of New York with him and his spouse. So he's unable to make it. But, we have 4 of the 5 board members here today for this launch, for this release, just to be able to talk to the people that are coming through J Matt. And you can see them in the background just walking all over the place. I mean, it helps. We're in the shadow of a big distillery, right?
Right.
And, with J Matt being here instead of Georgetown, it gives them a lot more traffic. So, yeah, I think this ball is going to go quick. And everybody that has participated in either a Purple Heart Cruise or Warrior Honor Cruise or Combat Wounded Cruise knows the impact that it made on their life. I mean, my bottle's already paid for in the truck. So, and then, I know one of the guys, Kirk, he's got like 15 bottles to pay for. So.
I know, right? That's woof, I can only imagine. So do you want to talk about the upcoming cruise, like some of your special? I know there's one special guest that we kind of hooked you up with. Is there anything kind of special going on this cruise?
With it just being our first cruise, I don't. We're just seeing how it goes. We took the critiques from the last cruise, and we just want to make it better. We want to make it to where they want to continue to come back as alumni, not just come say, hey, I got a free cruise, and that's the only cruise they ever do. It's like, it wasn't fun, and we just want to make sure that we continue to improve and make it a better organization. We don't want it to die after the 11th year. We want to continue on and get to 25 cruises, get to 30 cruises, and that's we do our days at sea. We do, like Sam said, we do have meetings. They're going to be a little different this time. It's not going to be where we're in rooms all day. I really want the husbands and wives to spend time together on that cruise. That's our focus, is to give them time to say, hey, I just need to go lay down. Let me go take a nap and you come with me, and that's what I really want to happen. Yeah, we're going to have a couple of meetings. We're going to do, Carnival does a really, really, really great veterans recognition service where they bring in all the veterans. They play every single branch service song and a lot of bashing of services between services and stuff like that, but they recognize Purple Heart recipients, and obviously that's a huge part of it that day. Is they're like, how many Purple Heart recipients do we actually have? I think the most we ever had on there was like almost 30 Purple Heart recipients at one of those, and it was really neat because we stand out. We all have the same shirts on. As for the wives, I'm gonna let my wife come over and talk about that,
Okay.
about what her plan is. That way we can people can actually hear about what they want, what the wives are gonna do during this time. We're learning as we go, and it's the old organization has helped. He calls me every so often, JJ, and he says, "Hey, how are you doing? Where are you at with it?" and stuff like that. We've ordered new shirts. We've rebranded everything, and with Jay Mattingly doing this is huge. This is huge for a small organization like we are. This is going to pay for five more Purple Heart recipients to be able to participate with us moving forward. So that's great.
Heck yeah.
I'll bring my wife over so that she can actually talk about what she's planning on doing.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so and it's cool. It's they keep saying that they're paying for 5 Purple Heart recipients, but it's the recipient and a guest, right? And they pay for an inboard cabin, and if you want to upgrade, that's on you, right? Your drink package is on you. Any other incidental thing is on you. Any of the excursions and all that stuff you want to do is on you as well. But they pay for that inboard cabin. And April and I went the first year and had a friggin' blast, and I got to go back the second year as a team lead, and then everything with the skydive team and everything I got going on with Mogadishu Mile, and want to participate in that, and now being the executive director and having to participate in that, I miss it because that cruise date is that first weekend in October into that second week in October. So hopefully this me doing this will give a little influence to push a week, so April and I can get back out and enjoy a cruise with everybody that we met in previous years.
Heck yeah. So welcome.
Thank you.
So you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Tori Fuller. I'm Richard's wife.
Well, nice to meet you. So do you want to talk about what you're doing for the spouses on the cruise?
Yeah, our goal for the spouses or supporters group, because they're not all spouses. Sometimes we get moms, sometimes we get friends, is just to sort of build a network internally for support for each other. We make a Facebook group every year where if there is a crisis or just even a celebration, we can reach out to the group for support for each other.
Heck yeah. So you're married to a veteran, right?
Right.
And you've been married for a really long time. What triggers have you seen and how have you dealt with them?
That's a tough question because it's a little unpredictable sometimes. Anniversaries tend to be a trigger, good or bad. Any big event in life can be, kind of a trigger. And there's pressures, that just come up with some of that stuff. So basically, that's why it's important for us to have that network, because sometimes you can't predict it. And so when it comes up, you need to have sort of a resource to reach out to.
So I think there need to be, even for not just Purple Heart veterans, but like veterans like myself. My wife sometimes don't understand the things that I've went through over, my military service. And sometimes it's hard for her to understand that I can't get past. Mm-hmm. So what is something that I can do to help her understand?
Well, speaking from personal experience, I had to just come to the realization that I don't have to understand. It's still real, and it's my job to support that, whether I understand it or not.
That's awesome. I love that. All definitely, because I need to tell my wife that.
Well, I feel like I have imposter syndrome sometimes because I wasn't married to him when he was active, so I'm just dealing with the sort of the aftermath and the
secondary PTS,
right?
Much. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so that's the same with my wife. We weren't married. We dated at the end of my military service, but we weren't married. And some of the things that really bugged me, and they know that it triggers me, but they still do it. I'm like, bro, you need to move your spot. Like if we're in a restaurant, I'm like, you need to move your spot. And they're like, no, I'm like, yes, you need to. And they know, but they don't do it. And I'm like, it just drives me
So,
bonkers.
they keep talking about the spouses program and the spouses and want to be the family involved. Tori's not the only spouse here today.
Right.
So we have fiancés and the wives of everybody else, to include my wife. She made an appearance here as well. Right. So she does exist. I do have a wife.
She's right
she
back
is
there.
very real, for those of you that don't believe that. But I mean, today, just getting together and for everybody to see everybody again. It's been a couple of years since I've seen Tori and some of the other spouses, and it's just great to see everybody back together. And it's like you don't, like you and I, you just don't miss that beat.
Right.
You just fall right back in. I mean, we're all friends on Facebook, so we get to follow each other that way and follow the families that way. And it's just really a good time. And again, just to have everybody here at JMAT today for the launch of this bottle and what it represents is just a huge honor for me to be part of it.
So let's talk about the bottle a little bit more. Where can people get that online? I know right now it's on the store only, but
Yeah, right now it's just right here at JMAT. Probably next week, marketing will put it on the J Mattingly webpage. So it's jmattingly1845.com. And then once you pull that up, there will be just the little 3 drop down tab. Hit that, and then shop will come up. Click on shop and scroll down, and then you'll find this actual bottle. Will be a picture there, and you click on that, and it'll tell you. So right now they can ship to 34 states. Don't ask me what states those are because I don't know, but they can ship to every military installation except Fort Bragg or Liberty or whatever the hell the name of that place is right now. Right? I think it went back to Bragg.
yeah, it's back to Bragg.
So just when you click on it, you'll have to put in your address, and they'll tell you we cannot ship there. But if you have a friend in a neighboring state and they can ship to their house, ship to their house. It's no big deal. So it goes to a distributor and it gets distributed that way. JMAT doesn't send it out. So a lot of the bottles that are out back will actually go to a distributor. And then once that's all set up, this will populate on the JMAT webpage and be able to sell it there.
Heck yeah.
So hopefully let's see if we can't. So last year, the Mogadishu Mile bottle sold out in 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Holy cow.
So let's see if we can't do the same thing here with the Warrior on a Cruise bottle.
I think it will
weeks.
with the way it tastes. I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's got a bite on the back end,
Yeah.
but right, you want that in a good sipper anyway. And
Yeah.
like Rich and I were talking earlier, you throw a big round ice cube on there and just get that little bit of coolness and that water in there, and it's going to change that flavor profile anyway, right? It's crazy what water does.
Oh,
to
yeah.
bourbon.
You got Rich.
So, one of the board members reminded me, I've got some facts about the Purple Heart Cruise. We have had 115 individuals on board in the last 11 years, and not one of them have taken their own lives. That is our goal. So, in the last year, 2024, just in the United States alone, 49,000 people took their own lives to suicide. Since 2001, there has been 140,000 service members that have taken their own life. During the wars, combat wars, there was only 7,000 service members that have passed, that died. So we have lost 139,000 more people to suicide than we did in 20 years of ground combat. And that's our mission. We want to prevent more numbers to go into that stat. And with the purchase of this bottle, that's going to be able to help us continue to do our mission and continue to allow service members to think that they're not alone, and that's the most important. We don't want them to think they're alone, and none of us are alone. All we got to do is pick up our own phone.
Yeah, we get in our own heads sometimes.
Yep.
I think that it's only our
Absolutely.
problem and we're the only ones that's dealing with it.
And that's, to be honest, we all suffer pain, and when you're suffering pain, that's one of those things that go through your mind is like, I can fix the pain really, really fast,
Right.
and not ever have to worry about it, but when you have those other networks, such as this organization or friends that, you can reach out to, those thoughts go away really, really fast.
Yeah, and Troy's online now, so welcome, Troy. Sorry you can't be here, but have fun with Teresa on your cruise.
Absolutely, Troy. Have fun with the boys, and Teresa, we sure do wish you were here. We're missing you today. So,
But we'll see him in August.
we will see them in
We'll see him
August. We'll all be together again in August, which is good.
So the board's coming in for this year's Warrior Weekend to Remember. So all the guys that hadn't been there before are coming in for the first time.
Nice.
And then Steve and Jason are coming back as ambassadors. I'll be there as an ambassador.
We'll be there
Actually,
for the podcast.
Actually, I'm Troy's ambassador this year because the guy that was assigned to him is changing jobs. He has to work. So they pulled me in. But, I've known Troy, man, almost as long as I've known you. So, no, it's going to be a good weekend, and we're going to have fun. And there's going to be a bunch of other wounded veterans, Gold Star families, and families of fallen first responders there too. So it's going to be a great time.
It's going to give us an opportunity to get our name out there so that we can get some more quality applications to be able to go on our cruise. So,
Well, the thing with Purple Heart veterans is they don't really like to be recognized.
Yeah.
So that's probably a hard part, is trying to get people to say, "Hey, I'm one of you guys."
absolutely.
Well, not only that, it's realizing that the organization is legit, right? And they are doing the right thing for the right reasons. And, nothing against the old board, but everybody's a Purple Heart recipient that's on the board. So they understand, even though the founders, their grandson was a Purple Heart, but they truly didn't understand what we go through or what we deal with on a regular basis. And all the guys that are on the board now completely understand. Yeah, even though it's all different time frames of us being injured, it's all, we all deal with the same stuff.
Right.
So,
And that's one reason I decided I wanted all Purple Heart recipients on the board, is because of that. They have what's in the best interest of each Purple Heart person that comes on that boat. So,
I mean, that makes sense to have Purple Heart veterans on the board of an organization that's dedicated to Purple Heart
yes,
veterans.
sir.
I mean, it makes sense. Because you wouldn't want a civilian on the board, because they'll never understand. And then a veteran.
But they still bring something to the table.
Yeah, they still do.
They bring a different aspect of to the table.
I'm going to let Steve come over. He wants to talk a little bit. Is that all
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
All right. Hey, thank y'all again for coming out.
Well,
so
thank you
much.
for coming on here.
And it's not been that long, Troy. I was a sergeant.
I was going to say, I knew you was a Lance Corporal, but I don't know Troy.
Steve, we've seen your comments a bunch. You might have to scroll over here closer to me. We've seen your comments a bunch, during the weeks that we have the podcast. But if you would just introduce yourself to everybody from HomeFront Sitrep and then your position within Warrior on a Cruise.
My name is Steve Kingsley. I'm a 23-year Army veteran. And I live in northern Indiana and went on my first cruise 5 years ago. And after that first cruise, I really kind of sat in the shadows and watched. Wasn't sure that I wanted to put my things that I seen and did over there until I saw what everybody else was. But the second cruise, I felt at home with everybody else, because most of them went through some kind of same situation to earn their Purple Heart. And to me, it's easier to speak to someone that has been through some kind of situation when we do warrior time, because they can more understand it. And I don't talk about things that I did or see overseas, except pretty much on the cruise, because a lot of people look at you in a negative way, and then that just brings out your own demons, because now you get these bad feelings. But I think the best thing that we do on the cruise is we have our warrior time, and it's only the Purple Heart recipients that's allowed in the meeting room at that time. Any veterans is eligible to go on the cruise, but they're not allowed. They're allowed to come to our general meetings, but at the time when it's warrior time, we ask anybody that's not a Purple Heart recipient to leave the room, which then gives, anybody in the room that wants to talk about what they went through, it makes it easier for them, I think, because everybody in that room has been in some kind of the same situation. And one thing we're looking at trying to do is in future years is we're trying to look at bringing in some people that came back with nothing, no home, no car, no life, and bring them in so that they can show younger soldiers also that there is life after you come home and you can make something out of yourself. So we're going to look at trying to bring on different guest speakers to help, show people that, hey, this is what I've done. This is what you can do if you put your mind to it.
I love that. I definitely love that.
Troy comment on here. The comedy club is part of Warrior Time. Absolutely. That's probably the best Warrior Time is the comedy club.
Laughter's a good form of therapy.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, it's good. I think that everybody on our board is a Purple Heart recipient, because then everybody sees what we're trying to do, and it's easier to get things done when everybody knows. And we did make Sam a non-voting board member. We're going to use him as an advisor, because he does a lot of other nonprofit stuff that can help us make our cruise even better down the road.
Heck yeah.
Well, we thank you guys for coming out and helping us promote this.
Absolutely.
And, like I said, any veteran's allowed to go. So hopefully someday you can bring your spouse and come on a cruise too and actually see what goes on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to. So next year, my youngest daughter will graduate, and then she'll be going to college. So it'll just be me and the wife. So we'll make time for sure.
Like I said,
Okay.
next year, hopefully they're pushing that extra week. That way I can get Mogadishu Mile knocked out and then roll right into a cruise. We're going to get one of the other board members on here.
Yeah, we need to get the guy from J Matt too. Todd, yeah.
If he's willing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. No, come on, get in tight.
My bad shoulder.
Get in tight.
Get in tight. He's a Marine. He likes it. Well, welcome to the show.
Well, I appreciate it.
Introduce yourself if you don't mind.
So I'm Kirk Holcomb. I'm the CFO for Warriors on our cruise. And, as my job is to manage the funds, to make sure we have all the money to bring all these wounded warriors out to the wonderful cruise that we have.
Heck yeah. So what has it meant for you to be part of this organization?
So I'm going to go off of one of those cliche stories that, about, how this place pretty much saved me. And it's pretty much is how it worked. When I first went on this cruise, I was a month and a half out of a 21-year marriage. And honestly, I thought it was a good opportunity to go out and go horn around. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get on a boat, go hook up with some ladies and have a good old time. And once I actually sat down and started realizing what this program was about and what we did, and sat down and had those times where we were talking, it really changed me. It really kind of made myself self-reflect on what I was doing with my life after divorce and everything. And then the next year I came on by myself, and just got into dating someone and turning my life around. And then the year after that, which was this last one, that same individual I actually proposed to on the cruise. And we're both intricately a part of this operation and trying to get the word out and trying to get us to bring more Purple Heart recipients in, because it's one of those things that it is life changing. You don't know it at the time until you go on it. And I think that's what happened to me is, like I said, I was going out doing stupid things, thinking, after a 21-year marriage, just like anything, you get released into the wild. You're a feral person and you're going around just doing all the wrong things all at the wrong time. And that's what I was into. And these guys just brought me in, and Jason, who's going to come on next, one of our other board members, lives just down the road from me and helped me get through the hard times. And, that's what we're here for. It's just to get people through the hard times and make sure that we wake up for the next day. And I can't ask for a better group of guys to help run this organization.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. What other questions you got for me?
Nothing other than, yes, today is Flag Day. Today is the owner's birthday, but it's also Kirk's birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
So,
Well, thank you.
It's awesome that we get to release this on his birthday as well. So it's a good birthday present for him. But He's going to be showing up some cash.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Yeah, it's my birthday. I'm going to point out like $2,000 today. So,
But at the end of the day, it's worth it. Right?
oh, absolutely. It's going to be worth it. I got a bottle for everyone of all the board members that we're signing. I've got a few special numbers I'm going to take home and put up, and a few I'm going to pound down. So,
Absolutely.
and a few to hand out. So, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
We're
man.
going to get Jason up in here real quick.
Let's do Todd first.
He's working.
Okay, then. Come on, Jason.
So we're gonna, I would say, save the best board member for last because
Yeah.
even though they were all Army so far
This
today,
guy was a Marine.
so he was a Marine first, and then he went to the dark side. Obviously, Troy was a Marine, so unfortunately he's not here. We're gonna save him for last, right? Get the true Marine up here.
Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself.
I'm Jason Little, one of the board members of Warrior Honors Cruise. And me and Sam were on the cruise right after COVID, and it was such a great experience because that was such a tight-knit group because it was so tiny.
Right.
And the boat was only at 50% capacity too.
Oh, yeah.
which made it even a better cruise because you didn't have to wait in line for all the stuff, right?
Right.
And
No waiting in line
Well,
for Guy's Burger.
I roomed beside him and his wife too. So we
Yes, Sam knows I am the captain.
he is the captain now.
Oh,
The
man.
wives aren't paying attention. They
Yeah,
don't care.
as long as they don't pay attention. We all both looked all at the same time. We all looked. So you were a Marine Corps for 13 years, then you went into the Army.
Yes,
And then after you got out, did you, like most veterans, did you find that you lost that sense of purpose, that sense of camaraderie when you got out?
I did, but I joined the sheriff's office, and I worked for the Lee County Sheriff's Office in Auburn, Alabama. And our sheriff is a great guy, and we have a lot of veterans in our sheriff's department. And we, if we get into a little tight group, and they'll be, hey, smack you upside your head. Come on, bro,
Don't
you
let
got
have them
this.
little clicks. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with networking. So if, for example, one of the guys that comes on the cruise all the time, he had recently lost his dog, which if you have a dog, those are your fur babies. And we found out that he had lost his dog, and everybody that knows Mike reached out to him, and it's like, hey brother, we're here for you. And that's at the end of the day, that's what this comes down to, is being there for your brothers, sisters, because there's ladies out there that have earned a Purple Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is us being there for them.
Heck yeah. We all have to work together to and be there for everybody or each other, so that number could slowly start coming down. Right now, it's still on the rise. They say 22. It's more like 45 to 55
Right.
a day. And whatever has been working in the past, not really working because it's broken, it needs to be changed. And I think a lot of organizations out there, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, when they first started, they were focused on themselves. They didn't care about working with other organizations. And I know you guys like working with other organizations to help. And that's what matters. When we have to work together as a tribe, or a village, as Candace likes to say, is a village, to help combat that 22 a day. And I think if you can build that community, I think that's what's working.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure. And that's what it's just not you went on a cruise and you're done, right? There's that after action that happens between the guys and the girls, and mostly happens within the spouses because they find their own little network of people that they mesh with and they can click with. So it helps the spouse more, which then forces the husbands to communicate more too, right? Or the Purple Heart recipient to communicate more. So it is truly all about the family and getting everybody together and getting that marriage unit to be back to being a unit instead of the husband and the wife just doing their own thing
Right.
all the time. Like everybody sees with me and my wife. But
Right.
I don't talk about what happens when I come home, right? It's having that time with her and doing a date night with just her and I. And that shit didn't happen until I went on the cruise, and we had that alone time.
Yeah.
And now we force each other to do something with each other without the kids, without the distractions, without the service dog, without all of it. And it all started with, Warrior on a Cruise.
Heck yeah. Man, Jason, thank you for coming on here and
I
hanging out with
appreciate
us,
it,
brother.
It's an honor.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, brother.
We'll get Todd over here, let him talk about J Matt a little bit, about what he does. And he's a squiggly.
Yeah, he's a Navy guy. We won't hold that against him.
At least try not to, anyway. Now, if he wants to get that close to me, I might have some issues.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to be close because we have to share a headset here.
That's right. we're tied together here.
That's
So
it.
Well, welcome to the show. If you don't mind, introduce yourself a little bit.
first name's Todd, last name's Mattingly. I'm actually the leader of the military commemorative division here at J. Mattingly 1845. Former Navy, EOD specialist, 37 months combat. So
You do something else too, right? Outside of JMAT?
yes, I'm actually the chapter president for Rolling Thunder Kentucky 5, which is a 38-year national organization, local chapter. I've been involved with them for 11 years now and been president for 6.
Heck yeah.
So we brought home soon to be 35 MIAs to the state of Kentucky since 2017 from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Heck yeah. So what does it mean when you, for you personally, because you're a veteran and you work here at JMAT, when you get organizations like Warrior Honor Cruise or Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky coming in and wanting to do a barrel pick and do bottling like this? What does it mean to you?
It's everything to me. Like I tell these guys, I gave up a 23-year career in the IT world to pretty much semi-retire and come in here and submerge myself back in the veteran community. So when we actually have people come in and associations come in, veterans come in, heroes, they come in and put these blends together. I know this bottle means something to them. The TLC that we put into these bottles is all the way from the juice that's inside right down to the specific details of the wax colors and the shape of the bottle. So, I mean, everything here is hands-on. Everything here is tender loving care. And we really take honor in what we do here as far as the military commemorative division, just being able to give back. The patriotism here is unbelievable. We're small staffed. We're only 21 staff members deep. There's 4 veterans that work here, and every one of us loves it. I mean, so when I get the military bottle releases, I get excited.
Unless I call him in early in the morning, he's like, "Man, Sam, can we push it another half hour?"
Yeah. There's something about these guys, man. They like to, 0600, and I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening.
That's just the Marine. That's just the Marine in me. That's like this morning. I was up at 07, and my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm getting ready for the day."
Yeah.
She goes, "It's bedtime." I'm like, "No."
Well,
No.
I usually get 2 hours in the morning from my girls, and I live with 3 girls, and me and the German Shepherd are the only men in the house. So, yeah, usually that first hour and a half that I'm up before everybody else, that's my time.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So how long have you been with J Mattingly?
I've actually been an advisor since 2024, probably March of 24, and then came on full time in January
Yeah,
this
it
year.
was right around when we did Mogadishu Mile last year.
Yep. So I was still advising. I was in transition at that point in time, trying to figure out how I was going to semi-retire. Of course, it helps when you're co-owner of the company, and the stress was just phenomenal. So to be able to transition over to this and actually start working within the division right off the bat meant the world to me. So I mean, I was running dual jobs at one time there, and hotels out in the middle of nowhere in different states, and I'm helping design bottles and everything else. So I mean,
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, so with this bottle and with Mogadishu, Todd was here through the entire tasting.
Yep.
Talking about what flavors that he was feeling as well. As well as the board members that were tasting. And you get those. Sometimes his palate may be a little bit more refined than some of the others. He's like, "Well, I'm tasting this on the front. The middle has this. Oh, it's got a nice burn on the back." Right? and just trying to figure out what you want, and then you blend it together. And then you're like, ooh, no, this isn't working for us. Let's figure something else out. And then tell me like, well, what do you want? And the board or the guys and girls that are doing this blend will be like, this is what we want. He's like, okay, we need this batch, this batch, this batch, this batch. Let's try that. Or maybe take 10% out here and add 10% somewhere else. So it's great to have Todd on board, and he helps with the communications of the labels and what your drop date's going to be, what your price point's going to be, what do you think overall. And then being a prior service member as well, it truly helps out and makes a lot of people feel more comfortable.
Oh, absolutely, and I appreciate that, Sam. And it really, those bottles mean more to me because of the simple fact is I have such a deep role in it. And I've got one bottle from everything that we've produced here as far as a military bottle, and I love it. I mean,
he takes double zero, and I asked him if it was his IQ.
Hey, for an EOD specialist, I still got 10 fingers, 9 toes, and 4 limbs. Okay,
you're doing good. You're doing good. So for all the bourbon drinkers out there that's gonna be watching this now or later, let's talk about the flavor profile on this, since you got a big hand in it.
Okay, so this one's got a little bit of a fruity front. When I say fruity, I'm not meaning like it's going to taste like, how would you say it? A tropical smoothie. So you get hints of a little bit of apple. You get hints of a little bit of
a little
cherry on the front. The mid is usually where your heat comes from, but it's got a nice mild palate heat to it. It's warming. And then the back has almost got, if I remember correctly, on my taste palette, it almost has like a smoky dark chocolate finish to it.
Nice.
So it's very smooth, and
it's a good sipper for sure.
Yeah.
And one of the points that the guys made is on the cruise they do cigar night too. So and it's a lot of guys who do the cigars at home, but they wanted something that would pair well with a good cigar too. So that's why they came up with what the finish of this is.
So are they able to take this bottle on the cruise?
No,
you
can't take this on the cruise.
I know you. Yeah, I know you can take one bottle of alcohol, but I didn't know if you take bourbon.
Yeah.
You can do one. Yeah, you can do one. So well, I ain't gonna tell my little secret.
No.
I'm gonna tell my little secret.
We all got secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to have it home, or mine's going to sit on the shelf, right?
Yeah.
And age a little bit more in climate control. But this whole process, like Todd said, it's hands on from the start to the finish. They're whiskey thiefing out the taster of each thing, and then the whiskey thief out the blend, and then from there it gets pulled by a person or persons into a big vat. Then that vat gets transferred into another vat, which gets pumped into the machine that they put the bottles in to fill the bottle. Then it comes from there to the cork, to the tape, to the wax. The entire bottle. This bottle gets touched 10 to 15 times from the start to the finish, minimum. And then of course it goes into the boxes or up here into the gift shop for sale.
Yep. And the batch tabs are all handwritten. Your proof and your volume is all handwritten on the bottle.
They got a couple ladies that have some very nice handwriting.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones that are allowed to write on there, because if you had Todd or myself, it looked like chicken traps.
Oh yeah. So Thursday I was actually in here labeling all these bottles, and so all 500 bottles, 500 and a few extras for tasters and stuff. They all got labeled by hand, and then the batch labels were started going on as soon as I got the main labels on. And so we had a team, and we finished up the batch numbers this morning. So
nice.
It's definitely a team effort, all the way from the associations all the way down to making sure they're produced exactly how they want them. And within reason, there's certain things that we can and can't do. And there's certain things that we can make happen, and there's certain things that we can't. We're human. There's no machines here, so we can't blame it on the machines breaking down. We gotta blame it on us, not being motivated enough to do it. But when it comes to releases like this team really gets together and just makes it happen.
Heck yeah.
In the team, the sales team, they want to know the story behind it. And so when the guys aren't here, right, they want to be able to tell the story of Warrior Honor Cruise or Mogadishu Mile or whatever other military ball they have, and where the proceeds are going and what it means to the organization. So they learn about each organization that comes in as well. So it's not just, you know, Todd in the back of the military sales piece and or the guys that are doing the blend. It's everybody here at JMAT wants to know what Warrior Honor Cruise is, what they do, you know, what they represent, who they represent, and where the money's going.
Yep.
Heck yeah.
And that's part of my job, is being able to vet these organizations and making sure that we're giving back to organizations that are actually doing what they say they're doing. And I don't think I've had an organization yet that hasn't followed through on their word. But it's a very close relationship with these associations and organizations, to the point where we get to know each other on a first name basis. I mean, we're not just here to produce bottles with liquid in it. We're here to actually be a part of the organization, a part of the association.
Heck yeah. I'm thinking doing a HomeFront Sitrep bottle and have all the proceeds go to Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky. That'd be pretty.
Well, we already have a Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky, but we take those proceeds and put them somewhere else. So we're not a 501c yet. Give me another 3 years and we'll be a 501. We'll be handling our own stuff, and that money will be used for Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky. And then there's other things coming down.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll make it happen.
Well, I tell you what, we'll make the sit rep happen in it, and then we'll figure out where it's going from there.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I'm excited. I'm a bourbon drinker. I've always been a bourbon drinker. I born and raised in Barstown, so I woke up every morning smelling sour mash.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, bourbon is one of the things that I love. Now, I don't drink it as much as I used to because the Marine Corps said I was an alcoholic, but it definitely need to do some bottles for sure. Yeah.
See, now I was born
in a small.
What's that?
A small run.
Yeah, small run. Yeah.
See, now I was born and raised in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Moved down here 25 years ago, so I was born on beer and cheap whiskey. You know, back then the whiskey wasn't for the flavor.
Right.
Yeah. Now I'm cheap beer and expensive whiskey, and thank God I work for a distillery. That's all I can say.
Like JMAT now.
some old Milwaukee's Beast.
Yeah, there you go. Thank God they don't make blats anymore.
$5.99 a case.
Mad Dog 2020.
Oh God, don't go there. Don't go there.
Oh,
I got some horror stories on the Mad Dog.
you and me both. You and me both. Well, we thank you for coming on here and
Absolutely.
talking about JMATs and what this process means to you.
Yes.
So guys, if you're out there, you're watching this now, you're watching it later, go to Google, search J Mattingly's 1845, go to their website, see what's on there, buy you some bottles. I mean, and if you're
I will tell you, the Mogadishu Mile bottle is on there right now. It hit yesterday or Thursday, I don't remember.
So go get you a bottle.
So there's a bottle of that there.
Yep.
And then this should hit next week once marketing comes in and everything gets pushed out to the distributor, and then the Warrior Honor Cruise will hit the website as well.
Absolutely.
So go save the website, go buy you a Mogadishu Mile, Kentucky bottle, which I'm staring at right there. And then it is a beautiful bottle. And then when this one goes on sale or goes on there, go buy it. If you're in the area around the Frankfurt area, within a 100-mile radius, get in your car, drive up here today, buy you a bottle. It goes for a good cause. So
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful bottle too.
It is.
And I might be a little biased. I mean, I partake in both bottles, and but I tell you, I taped 500 bottles of that Mogadishu Mile, and so I can't. It's not just me, asking for a blend to help out organizations. I actually, if I'm available, I'll come down and I'll help bottle. I'll help do the wash. I'll help do the tape. I'll help do the wax. Whatever they'll allow me to do without being in their way, I'll come down and help. And that's the part that I want to do, right? I want to feel involved, and I don't want the organization here at JMAT to think, man, these guys just come in and do a bottle and that's it, and we never see them.
Yeah,
I want to show my face in here as much as I can, and support the organization here at JMAT.
Oh, heck yeah.
And that's the one thing I love about, especially Mogadishu Mile and Sam and Troy. And just everybody coming in and being involved in it. That really makes a difference for the distillery, because it creates a tighter bond, a tighter family. And just knowing that the guys that help put this together, like the Mogadishu Mile and the Warriors Honor Cruise. I mean, these guys were getting choked up this morning.
Yeah, they were.
And I mean, for them to actually
They didn't get
hold
to
the
see
bottle.
They didn't get to see the bottle until
Until a while ago,
They
yeah.
were here
Yeah.
for almost an hour before they even saw the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that was anticipation.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Yeah, I saw when you first brought the bottle out, and they're like, "Is that our bottle?" You know, because they were trying to scope it out, and they're like, "Sam's getting ready. Sam gets to see the bottle before we do." But when you came out with it, they were like, "Man, that's awesome." So
Yeah, well, Sam had to go pull 22 bottles that they wanted, right? So again, I'm not just here to get a blend. I'm here to help in any way, shape, or form, right? And especially on a Saturday, there's limited staff here. And wherever I can put my hand to help out, that's what I'm going to do.
heck yeah. And
Yeah, even though he's a Marine, we still let him
know.
in the building, and
Yeah.
he didn't break too many bottles, so we're okay.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, these ones are up. I mean, handle with care. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. You definitely. Well, Todd, thank you for coming on here. We're going to
thank
end
you.
this show so I can get back home.
All right.
You're
Well, I want to
welcome.
say thank you for everybody involved, for Jay Mattingly. We are honestly so appreciative of dealing with these guys and dealing with the organizations we deal with. So thank you for having me on.
Hey, you're
And
welcome.
showing a little bit of the back end of the distillery. you know.
yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah,
It means the world to us.
I love the look. I mean, you can look in the background here, and it's like, man, I wish I could have turned it a little bit more, get the bourbon barrels and stuff in the background. But
I tell you, from where they came from in Georgetown to where they're at here, just the storefront here is bigger than the entire building was in
dang.
Georgetown. So, and we've been a part, especially Mogadishu Mall, Kentucky's been a part of that before they moved over here. We were part of that much anticipated wait of them opening the storefront here in Frankfurt on Riley Road. So, yeah, we're excited. It obviously going to continue that relationship here, and we're already talking next year's Mogadishu Mile bottle and when we're going to start it. I've talked to the guys about possibly pushing this to the fall when there's not so much going on for next year to get a fall release or something next year.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
We'll work around it. We'll make it happen.
heck yeah, no, I
Thank
love
you.
it. Guys, go check out jmattingly.com. Is that what it is?
JMattingly 1845.com.
And save it, bookmark it, and then go in there and order you a couple bottles or 10.
And if you come to the distillery, just ask for Todd.
Yep.
I'll make sure you get taken care of.
Awesome. Everybody's been friendly today up here. Like all the staff that's working here today have been
Always
phenomenal.
I'll tell you, it's always.
So
It's not just because Todd's sitting here, and it's not. We wouldn't have continued relationships if they weren't always professional and personable,
heck yeah.
right? So, and everybody here is, even if there's a rotation of people, everybody that we've met through Jay Mattingly, all the way from Jeff down to their newest employee, is always professional, always courteous. Greet you with a smile, try to help you in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, and for the record, I am the newest employee.
I was going to say all the way down to Todd, but that makes you feel like,
Oh, you gotta love it.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey,
Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for having me on.
Hey, you're welcome, buddy. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you.
No, man, that's super cool up here, guys. The aesthetic up here is friggin' awesome. The atmosphere is phenomenal. So if you're within a 100-mile radius of Frankfurt here, come on up and get you a bottle today. I think they're open till what, 3 or 4
today.
3 or 4. So you got plenty of time to get here. Maybe depends on how close you are.
Right. But and they do have a taster too. So they at the bar over here to my right, they have tasters over there. So if you want to taste the Mogadishu Mile, or if you want to taste the Pearl Harbor, if you want to taste the Vietnam one that they just released today as well,
Or the Warrior Honor
or the
Cruise.
Warrior Honor Cruise that just got put on the bar this morning, you can give it a taste and see if you like it, see if it resonates with your palate. And if it doesn't, still buy a bottle because it goes to support a great cause.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Sam, it is time to end it, brother.
It is, man. And I didn't think we were going to go an hour. I thought maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. But, man, I thank you for taking your time to come up here. I know you got a lot of stuff to do. Congratulations on your new grad and her party tonight. So hopefully the weather holds off for you guys.
I'm hoping. It looks a little cloudy outside, but we'll see. I mean, we'll still have a party regardless. we'll just have 100 people crammed into my Cape Cod.
Yeah, right. But no, honestly, we need to thank Julie for letting you come up here
Yeah,
too.
definitely.
Especially when she found out how far you were going away from the house today.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Julie, appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, baby. I love you. But like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your six. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.